What did I get myself into? Two videos on the same person. Yeah. This would count the second and third time I would have I would have done videos on this person. But this person's argument's just flawed. So yeah, this is my first of two parts on Levitical.
My favorite field of study, the subject I've always enjoyed learning more about, is psychology, the study of the human mind and people's behavioral tendencies. For the past 6 years, I have been analyzing the traits, areas of interest, upbringings, emotional tendencies, and reasoning methods of the atheist. In this video, I will briefly explain the two different types of atheists you will encounter, both online and on the streets. So, these two kinds of non-believers are militant and passive. The militant atheist is usually in favor of communism, or at least socialism. Not to say that it's impossible, but you will be hard-pressed to find a militant atheist who is openly in favor of a right-wing political stance. He is typically homosexual or bisexual. In fact, in all my experiences dealing with militant atheists, about 9 times during my debates with them, I have been hit on. The militant atheist, just like the passive one, is almost always brought up in some kind of Christian household. Whether Protestant or Catholic, the militant atheist was raised by Christian parents and often attended church. They become atheists upon adulthood, but in reality they are already gone long before that. Between the militant and the passive atheist, it's always the militant ones that have experienced far more traumatic events in their youth. Parents are separated, molested as a child, beaten by their father, bullied in school, and often struggling with depression. This is why the militant atheists are greatly motivated by their emotions. It is where the maxim is realized that hurting people hurt people. And often when someone is angry at an ideology, the best that they can do is utilize a passionate rhetoric and demoralize it. The militant atheist is entirely oblivious to parables and hyperboles. These will fly right over their head, and the militant will often make fun of you for trying to use parables and hyperboles. You have to speak as simply and as literally as you can, because their impatient mind cannot process allegories. The passive atheist is part of a minority within the atheist crowd. He can be anywhere on the political compass, but indeed he is still, most often, left of center, and often libertarian. The reason for his passive stance on atheism is that he values certain fields of study, a special someone, or a hobby over his feelings towards religion. I've always noticed that the passive atheists are far more civilized and average in most respects. They may support LGBT, but they have a partner of the opposite sex. They might even march in an atheist rally, but they will be the first ones to walk out when people start chanting that we should slander religious people or try to outlaw religious evangelization. When debating a passive atheist, they most often take the indirect approach and avoid angering their opponent as much as possible. They ask far more questions than the militant ones, and when they don't know something, they see no shame in admitting it. For the passive atheist, it is most often that he is an atheist because he has witnessed far too much stupidity among people who claim to believe in a god, and so he has thrown the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak. There is still so much more that can and should be said.
Well, I bet you're wondering why I cut the video short. Simple. You are not going to advertise on this channel. And basically the rest of the video is just him talking about his book, quoting the Bible, and we don't want to see that. So yeah, final thoughts. He just basically described that there are like two different parts of atheism when he had no proof to back up any of his claims, and yes, I got my head braided. Thank you for not asking. But if you're going to say some stuff like that, like how you're gonna put militants and passive atheists in the same boat, and yet you're a Christian. Why do you care so much? But okay, that's the end of my video. I'm BZ the Arsonist. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, keep blazing, everyone.